Hey, you beautiful big kids. Your boy Zatchul, and welcome back to another Honkai Star Rail discussion. We're going to be talking about power creep. We're just going to get right to it. We're going to be talking about power creep, the big elephant in the room. That is, the annoying elephant in the room, because power creep is annoying. It always is, it always will be. And specifically their form of power creep is HP inflation, which is, man, you really feel that shit. Them sponges, you really feel that shit. But, yeah, power creep, HP inflation. It ain't fun. Power creep is 100% a thing that's in the game. Like, it is. You can't act like it isn't. It 100% is. And it is the dev's fault because they control metas and everything else that happens in the game. They hold all the power, so they hold all the blame. It just is what it is. Now, I don't know whether or not I would call the HP inflation decision stupid or not because, we don't know what their alternative thoughts were. Like, maybe to them this was the best solution to making content more quote-unquote difficult, because HP inflation is the easiest way to artificially make content quote-unquote difficult across the board for all characters, because that way it feels as though stronger characters, or well, newer characters are stronger, while showing that older characters aren't as strong, because honestly there's more damage that needs to be dealt to deal with these enemies with more health, and obviously the newer characters can do that but the other ones can't. So it's the easiest way to make it seem like things are getting more difficult. But again, we don't know what the other thoughts they had were to, make the game more difficult, because they could have been thinking about putting in annoying gimmicks that, specifically make certain characters feel worse off than others. So, that could have been the other idea for them, is just to make specific gimmicks that just annoy you, and you pull a specific character that works good against said gimmick, and then, that could have also just left a bad taste in people's mouth. So we don't know all the things they probably went through before coming to this decision, so I just won't say they're dumb, because we don't have all the information for that. So, more or less, I'm trying to play devil's advocate and give them the benefit of the doubt that they at least try to think of other things before they say, let's just increase the health. But yeah, since this is the reality we live in, we have to deal with it. So my free-to-play brothers and sisters, honestly, you're just gonna have to start planning out your pools more. You might start looking at more guys to, see what characters can be used in specific ways to help, increase your average level of play, to help you beat these chunky ass bosses, change up your builds. It's going to be rough. You might even have to look at leaks. I don't like saying that. You might have to look at leaks just so you can better plan out your pools, to try and get characters that's going to help you, increase your account, because that's all we really can do. Because the game, in terms of like what you can do, there isn't really much you can do to increase your, overall level of play, because the highest level of play and the lowest level of play, or well, the highest level of play and the standard level of play are fairly close, I would want to assume, because there's only so many actions you yourself, the player, can make to influence the battle itself, right? Like, we have basic attack, skill, and alt, and then there's things outside of it such as your stats, but in terms of like the actual fight itself, there's only so much you can do. There literally is only so much you can do. It's not like, an action game where you can mitigate damage by simply dodging it, So it's a turn-based RPG. There's only so much you can do. So, yeah, I don't know, man. The best you can do is just set yourself up for success with just trying to plan out your pools to get stronger characters, and just looking at guides and stuff to help you. Like, really, I just don't know no other ways as of right now, because unless they themselves put things in place that help the players, there's not too many options people have. And I think that's the more frustrating part, is they're not really doing anything to help relieve this tension. They're just like releasing character after character, like, okay, this character is better than the last one, so this helps with the power creep situation, because the new character is stronger, so this helps people, doesn't it? But what if people don't want that character? What if people fail to pull that character? What if people don't have enough pull for that character? Like, what, the only characters that have the longest shelf life, what is wrong with my brain right now? The characters with the longest shelf life are support characters, 100%. DPSs will fall off, but support characters have a longer shelf life. So what do you want people to do? Just summon all 4 supports and then get their 1 DPS? Like, man, that's gonna be, I don't know. I don't know. In terms of, what people are gonna do. It's just a tough situation. It just is. It just is. Now, when it comes to things they could do to help relieve the tension that they have, no, not even yet. No, wait, because there's one more thing I need to talk about. The fact that there's 2 more metas coming that could drown people even more. One being the summons meta, because you know the little memo sprites are summons. You know, we have Sunday who released that specifically, you know, help buff summons. So there could be a summons meta coming, and there could also be a true damage meta coming, because we already know true damage is coming through Trailblazer Remembrance, and that could easily be placed on the other characters. And true damage ignores everything, so that could also be a scary thought of how they would consider balancing that out. So I don't know, man, but I just want to get that out of the way. But to things that they could do to help relieve tension, you know, make things easier for players overall, the easiest thing they could do, the simplest and easiest thing they could do, is just buff old characters. I don't see why they haven't. Many games do this, but just buffing old characters to bring them back into the meta and give them a longer shelf life, you know, just to relieve that power creep tension, would help so much. I don't see why they don't just do it. You know how many people will be happy if Scylla just got a buff to make her somewhat usable nowadays? And they can do it in multiple ways. If they want playtime, they can easily make an event to where you gotta play it out, you know, get a new material or whatever to ascend the character again. It will, and then once you ascend them, it will give them buffs to their passive, give them, you know, slight stat increases, you know, and then give just a few pool currency. Just a little bit of the pool currency. I don't think that's too much to ask, because everybody wins in that situation. They get their playtime, players get to buff their old characters, and it relieves the power creep tension. I don't think that's too much to ask. And many games, gacha games, already buff old characters to help relieve power creep, or just to allow characters to use other characters that they just enjoy or like. Because relying simply on the release of a new character or a new relic set to buff a character, it just BS. It just is. Waiting and hoping that they even release a 5-star character that will buff a character you like is just BS. And I just think that's the worst possible way of trying to help, you know, buff an old character. Because if you release a new character, now somebody has to not only pull for them, hope they get them, hope they don't lose their 50-50, because if they lose their 50-50, then they have to put even more resources into getting said character, and then hopefully they also get them early. And that's too much hoping for my liking, you know? That's too much hoping that somebody gets lucky. And if the solution is hoping you get lucky, that just ain't it, Chief. It just ain't it. Another thing they could do that, you know, I don't know whether or not this would necessarily help relieve power creep tension, but just guarantee the light cone at this point. You know, fuck the whole 75-25 thing. Guarantee light cone. Reduce the amount of pulls it takes to get a light cone. Also, just buy a smidge. Fuck it, minus it by like 10 pulls. Just minus it by 10 pulls and guarantee it. Honestly, I don't think that's too much to ask, because, you know, if I'm summoning for a weapon, because that's what Lycos are essentially, they're just weapons that, you know, buffs and everything, their signature weapon, so they're like them. If I'm going for it, just guarantee it, because I'm already taking pulls away from the next character for the fucking character's Lycon, so just guarantee it. You know, this whole 75-25 shit is not it. Just guarantee it. Another thing they should keep on doing, because they have been doing this, is keep up with the high quality of 4-star characters. Because Gallagher, March 7th, Hunt, and Maz are actually good 4-star characters. And I hope they keep up with that Gallagher level of 4 stars, because that is good. They could also just use 4 stars as a way to support older units. Literally. Instead of using fucking limited 5 stars, use 4 stars. I don't think that's crazy. I'm just trying to give solutions that seem somewhat reasonable. You know, I don't want to act for anything that's too crazy. So I'm just like, I feel like these things are reasonable. I could be wrong. These might not even be reasonable. You can tell me if I'm being unreasonable, but I don't think like I'm asking for anything too crazy. But yeah, I don't really think there's anything else for me to say on this. They just need to do something about this power creep thing, man, because these motherfuckers got health, and my builds aren't perfect enough to deal with this bullshit. Man, I haven't even been working on builds. I gave up on working on builds because I'm just unlucky in this game. It just is what it is. I'm just going to accept the fact that I am unlucky in this game, because I am. I usually go to over 70 pulls. I usually lose my 50-50. I am unlucky in this game. I don't have dupes of any limited characters at all, because of how deep I have to go just to get the first copy. And after that first copy, I'm just like, I just can't. I just can't. I have about 3 of these characters' signature light cones because I just can't. I haven't got Fugue's light cone yet, and I'm hovering right now around 65. 65D. It ain't fun for me. That, and also why I spend money, because It's either you you pull wisely, or you spend money. And I chose spend money, and I don't even pull every character. I don't even pull every character, and I'm struggling. You know, so it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Yeah, but I'm open for discussion. That's all this is for, just for discussion. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one. I love you guys, and bye bye.